don't buy into the Apple ladder. The 13-inch iPad is £1,299 in the UK. And that's the 13-inch one. The 11-inch one is $999. But that's for 256 gigs of storage. If you want 2 terabytes and you want the biggest iPad you can get, that's a whopping £2,299. It's a whole £1,000 more just for 2 terabytes of storage. And that doesn't include a keyboard, it doesn't include a trackpad, it doesn't include extra connections, that's just the storage. Instead, I've been sent this. No, this isn't a laptop, it is my iPad, and I'm very proud to actually have hold of this because this is a prototype. And I've been playing around with this for a little while and be keeping it a secret if I'm completely honest. This is made by a company called Chesona, and I'm just not going to beat around the bush at all. It's a keyboard that detaches, so we can just take this off like that, and then it separates. But we've also got USB-A and USB-C. So I could plug an audio interface into USB-C, and I could plug a keyboard into here, a musical keyboard. Then if you're doing any filming or footage, you've got full-size SD card that can go straight in there and transfer the information. And that's where it gets super interesting because you'll notice on mine, I have a 2 terabyte drive sitting there, as well as the internal storage of the iPad. This metal strip right here, underneath, you can store an NVMe drive. And I picked up a 2 terabyte NVMe drive for about £100. So I can put video editing on there, I can put my music projects on there, and it's not eating up the internal storage of the iPad. So this, plus the NVMe drive, is about 300 quid, saving you £700 on a 2 terabyte iPad. And this is called the Armor series. It's a rugged design, and that's exactly what you need as a musician or performer who's using one of these on stage. Now Chesona are actually going to release this on Kickstarter first and then onto their website, so actually you could get this even cheaper. Now here's the kicker with this, because it's a Series 3, it can take the latest iPads, the M4, the M5, it can also take the older ones as well. As long as it's a USB-C connection, it can take the 3rd generation up to the 6th of the 12.9, and then with the iPad Pro 11 and 13, it's the M4 and the M5. You have a slot at the top, which is here for your Apple Pencil. Now the other thing as well is that the keyboard is backlit, and you might not be able to see that, you can just see it there, but it's backlit. I have it in the blue, I think it's quite nice, and there's 7 different colors you can choose from. Regarding the keyboard, it is scissor switch keys, and the travel on them is about 1.3 millimeters. So a little bit deeper than a lot of other keyboards for an iPad, but I think that's solid. Splitting these off is actually not easy, and you want that, you don't want it to come away. There we go, and you can see the connection there on the bottom. It just connects directly to it, and it's got these 4 latches that keeps it secure across the width. The case is a rugged case, and it offers military grade drop protection, but it offers something else as well that not a lot of people are going to think of, and that's height. If you get one of the Apple cases and put the iPad on the desk, then it's flat. If you go all out and spend about £350 on their really lovely keyboard case, it does elevate it slightly. Well, so does this. You can notice this part here where that SSD drive lives actually lifts this up a little bit. So I've actually been using it over here. When I've been doing live streams, I'm actually using it here, and it sits just there, and it elevates this part here just slightly. It comes in both a black, like this one, or a white as well. And with that HDMI cable, I can actually just plug my monitor into this, and it's 4K at 60 frames per second. So if you want extra leg room for your Logic Pro tracks, you can do that. Or maybe your video editing using something like LumaFusion or DaVinci Resolve, and again, you can just use an external display. That works really, really well now it's on iPadOS 26. The other thing that this gets rid of is this. I've been using this for years. It's the hyperdrive connector that originally was designed for iPad. I think it was one of the first ones specifically for iPad. And I've got an extra dongle on it right now because that's how I get my SD card stuff in. That's how I connect my audio interface in and keep it charged at the same time. And then we've got HDMI and headphone output. It's all on this. It's all there, all built in. I don't need an extra dongle, and I could just carry on using it as normal, almost like a laptop. But on top of that, I've got that extra storage. Now the only thing about this is the keyboard connection is wired. So there is this wire here that you just have to connect. So it does stick out a little bit, but that's okay because of course, once it's connected, it's in, it's fine. You also get the screwdrivers and the right tools to open this up. And the SSD compatibility is SATA or NVMe dual protocol, and you can go from a 2230 to a 2280 and up to 2 terabytes. Now, as I'm filming this right now, underneath this video is going to be the link to the Kickstarter, and then once the Kickstarter is finished and it's on the website, I will change it over to their website to show you this directly. I've played around with a couple of different keyboard cases, from Logitech to Apple's own one. This is a pro design for a pro workflow, and I love it. It hasn't been out of it since it arrived. I do have this case, which I've talked about before, which is the Moft one, and I do really like that. However, since it's been in this, for my use cases for pro workflows, for music and video editing, it's this. Only downside compared to that is this is heavy. It's heavier because of everything that's on board, but I don't mind that because it kind of turns it more into a laptop. Not just a laptop going, let's add a keyboard on. You're getting USB-A, you're getting headphone port, HDMI, you're getting SD card slot, and more importantly, you're getting that SSD bay, which means if I've filled the 2 terabytes and I need to keep all that stuff, then I can just take it out, put in a new one, and I don't need to go and get a new iPad. I've shown this to a friend of mine who's just got the new iPad, but he got the 256 gig one, and he wants to dabble in video editing as well as music. Once I showed him this, he said, that's it, that's the answer, that's the one I'm getting, because you can stick an NVMe. Now, yes, you can plug in an external SSD card via USB-C into an iPad anyway, but then you can't charge it. And as shown before, I've got a hard drive permanently sitting there. I can plug in an audio interface, and I can plug in a musical keyboard as well, and it's all running seamlessly with this system. There's always some kind of compromise when you add an attachment onto an iPad. I personally want the iPad Pros to have the same connection as the MacBook Pros. I don't see why they shouldn't. They should definitely have more than one USB-C. And the key thing with the USB-C on this, I talked about obviously plugging in things like an audio interface or something else like a keyboard, but this is also USB-C PD charging, so you can charge the iPad without having to unplug this and leave that permanently in. Also, let's say you don't have an audio interface with you, you've done all your recording and you want to mix or master. Well, the 3.5mm audio jack is high fidelity in and out. So if you're mixing or mastering with headphones, that'll work really well. The only thing that's missing from this, and I've fed this back to them, is a kickstand. If I just want to watch Netflix or I just want to watch something, there's nothing to put it in place. It's a real shame. I wish they'd just put like a little thing to kick out there. Now I could get something and put it on it, but it would have been brilliant as an all-in-one if I didn't want the keyboard. However, the good news is, unlike things like the Logitech one, if I put this on here, it's solid, it stays where it is, and I can just have that literally like a laptop. So it's not the end of the world, but if you just wanted to have the iPad on its own and just want to stand it up, you'd have to find something else to stand it up against, or you would just keep it with the keyboard attached. But that's my only gripe. That's the only gripe. I'm just being really picky, but I just want to thank them for trusting me with their prototype and their baby. And if you want to talk about mixing and mastering on an iPad, you could technically do it anywhere, but the chances are where you're mixing and mastering, certainly if you're portable, won't be a treated room. Well, that's where these come in. This is the Focal Clear MG Professional headphones, and they are excellent open back headphones for you to mix and even master with. These solve that problem, so much so that I use this more than my studio monitors, and that's this video right here.